Hey guys, welcome back. So we had a pretty good close and everything after our quick lunch video today. We're actually going to start this video a lot more zoomed in than normal. I have us on the 5-minute here, just because I noticed a couple interesting things. For instance here, I don't know if you can see, but where my mouse is, that looks like a pretty nice little cup and handle action going on. We haven't been able to see that very much happening with this stock in the other market, but it's nice. OTC has been great, not having those naked shorts. As we mentioned earlier, we had the news this morning, and it was awesome to actually see the news reflect in the stock price. We weren't just stagnant and then fighting algorithms the whole time that are trying to keep it down, and it's just been great so far. And if we look at our volume, we're going to go, I just wanted to show you guys a cup and handle in the 5-minute. Let's go back to our 30-minute actually. Let's take a look at our volume here. So it was green in our volume pretty much all day right here. You can see on the underlay. On our 30-minute chart, we only had 3 bars of red the whole day. And that's pretty amazing, especially considering how it used to be when we were watching the stock. We all know how bad it was. And another thing I wanted to point out is we're finally out of the downtrend that we had mapped out the other day. Let's go ahead and put the ray on there like we did before. We'll do this peak down here. And so then if we try to keep that parallel, get our channel, we're pretty solidly out. I mean, I'm not upset at all. So yeah, I wish we would have closed higher, but all things said and done, this still looks great. We're out of this downtrend, and we completely rejected the price down here. We tested 2 little bars here, and then just bam, it was just up. And then we had a major dip this morning, and that was it. Just one major dip this morning, and that's all that we were down. Now let's pull the MACD up and make it a little bigger here. This also still looks really good to me. So near the end of the day, the buying pressure kind of went down, and we went a little sideways as the price kind of hung around 8.4 cents or so, 8.3 cents. But as you see it's going down, our MACD is still going up. So things are very nice. We're still on the buy side, the good side, our fast over slow. Yeah, they're getting a little closer together, and they're going to keep getting a little closer together most likely, but we also don't know for sure what'll happen tomorrow because we could get another PR or anything like that, or maybe just more people buying in now that they're seeing the prices rejecting that low there. So it could go up and away from the slow some more tomorrow, but it also could just continue to meet up. In my opinion, I think that it's going to still slowly get together, but we're going to keep going on this uptrend. I mean, we're just now back at the 0 line, so that's wonderful in my opinion. I can't see anything wrong with the MACD right now for another day or 2 of increases at this rate, especially if we keep the same positive volume action going. Let's pull up our tried and trues, not simple moving average, but we can keep that on there for the 50. That's nice. We're actually above, we're above the 50 SMA. That's actually just a randomly nice thing to know. Very nice to know. So let's just actually leave that on there. I knew I put that in my top studies for a reason. All right, let's pull out our Chan and stochastic momentum. All right, so our stochastic momentum has reached touching together here on our 30-minute, and our momentum has gone down but leveled off. So they're looking like they were cooling off, which it did through the the end of the day, but we still closed with a green bar, which is very nice. But let's take a look at this on the daily and see how those look on the stochastic and Chand. All right, so look, on the daily though, they are still close to, I mean, it's oversold on the stochastic momentum, and the Chand is still low as well. So these have plenty of room on the daily chart to continue going up. That looks great to me, and we can even go down smaller. Look at the opposite way at 15 minutes. This is where you see it gets a little crazy. But yeah, we're about to reach another buy signal right here on the stochastic momentum. The Chand is not too hot. So, I mean, if you go small 15-minute, big to daily, we're still looking like we have plenty of room to growth to get back. And I mean, as you guys know, we have a lot to go back. I mean, we at least need to get to 12 cents again and start building this zone. So I think that's very possible soon. I want to even say that we might see 10 cents this week, you know, to be in my bullish nature. But we'll see what happens, right? So let's go back to our 60-minute. And let's pull up our elder ray and our pivot points. We're going to do Fibonacci pivots with shading. Just make it a little easier to see. All right. So as you can see here, we are in the support zone. So even though we jumped up really hard here, we're not so crazy launched that we're fighting resistances and things like that. So it's very stable growth. It's in a support zone. And like we saw in the stochastic and the MACD and everything, we're not super oversold, super overbought. It's just nice, steady climb, which I really like to see. And if we look at our elder ray here, which is bear and bull power, green bars being the bull power and red bars are being the bear power. And obviously the lower it is, the more bear power, and above the 0 is going to be bull power. So you can see we've flipped. We first got to OTC and it was just bear the whole time. But we've now finally saw that price rejection. We got the reversal, and we have potential to go. I don't see any reason we can't go as far down as these the opposite way, right? So let's see if we can get a symmetrical amount of growth upward as we did downward on this side. I just thought it was good to see that all day today we stayed above with the bull power. So tomorrow, I think it's another green day personally. We have days where we get into this resistance zones all the time. We have days where we break it. And when we stay in these steady supports for 2 of these blocks here, it seems that that's when we're ready for another break. So we're in with the 2 of the blocks, might be ready for another break. It's not a guarantee, of course, but it's something to look at. And if we go even on the daily, it's the same thing. We're still in those support zones, and it's just looking great. I don't see any problems right now. We're above the 50 SMA on the other chart. On this one, we are pretty much going to be able to approach it again. That's only 12 cents to get back to the 50 SMA, and that's going to go down a little bit more before it reacts to these price changes. So again, we got a nice solid daily green candle as well after all of this. So it is time to retrace. I don't know how fast, but it's time to retrace. I know some of you guys like the fib fans, so we might be able to do one here really quick. Let's do it on the 30-minute. Get rid of these pivots and everything. Let's see if we can find something nice here, because we have a really nice V going on. So we could trace it down and trace it back up and see what happens. So let's do that. Do a little Kamehameha blast. Okay. Say that was our low. Yeah, that fits pretty well actually. Okay. And we'll change up the color for the other side just so it's a little easier to see. And see, this was the trend we did earlier today was right here. And that's when I said, I don't know. And actually, I'll go ahead and leave it there for a second. And this is where I was talking about at this point here. And I was like, we could stay horizontal or we could keep going to the trend. And as you can see, and I believe I said I wanted it to test the upper 8s again, but we might close around 8.5. And we did get another test up to around 8.7. And we closed at 8.4. So it's pretty close. I'm glad we did get that little test pop here to test this trend again, because that makes me think that we can still maybe get back to it as well. Because as you can see, we kind of like wrap around it. And I'd like to see a spiral back up to there. Actually, I mean, maybe even tomorrow. But that's the trend we had earlier today. But now I'm going to drag it out a little bit. See if we can match it up a little bit nicer with what we ended with. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I like that well enough. A little test there. The test and break couldn't hold, right? We tested it back down, went, okay. So yeah, I mean, if we put our fib on where we ended here, this might be our major trend. As you can see, it kind of hooked and tested here, and it's kind of sitting on it again. And we're not quite breaking out of it. And I don't think we're going to dip too hard below it. So I think that's going to be our current trend line there. And let's see if we can get a prediction out of it with the arc. And then I won't drag on too much longer after that. Okay, let's actually go. Yeah, let's go there. See what that does for us if we just match it. Okay. We're going to do a smaller trend here. We're going to go to this dip. Okay. All right, that looks pretty nice, guys. Test there, under. We're going to go down to a 15-minute really quick so we have more information. Okay, yeah, that looks better. So we got our little dead man zone with the V in the middle. Tested back out, couldn't hold this, went back to our trend here. Okay, so I think maybe tomorrow we can see some pretty nice things. Let's get our horizontal out and see if we can predict anything for tomorrow. I would like us to not go too far below this trend line again, because I really like what it's setting up. 832 is a little too high. Let's see. So if we look at around 10 a.m., we could see a nice intersection at 8.5 cents again. We very easily could dip down a little bit in the morning because that's when our big dips happen. I mean, if we go to this morning, look at that, right? So I want to say we may actually dip to the bottom of this fib arc here around 8.08 cents. And I'm hoping though that that's just a really quick morning dip and that we basically hang out around 8.52 all day. And then if we keep with trend and arc, see tomorrow's the 20th, make sure I'm still on the 20th, okay. I mean, very easily we could be looking at 8.8 cents. Nice, nice. That's just by 11 o'clock, guys, so. And by 3 o'clock. Okay. Okay, I know that looks like a big jump because we're so zoomed in, but if we zoom back out here, it doesn't look as crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think tomorrow we might get some pretty big movement again. It was kind of sideways, like I said at the end of the day, but this test here makes me happy. It's got like a little double top action going on. I think that the morning dip around 8.08 cents, I think we'll hang out around 8.5 cents again for most of the day, with a nice little pops up to 8.8 cents. Yeah. I would really, really like the trend to continue and us to get to 9.5 cents though. I'm going to go ahead and say that happens. I'm going to say that we see 9.5 cents tomorrow. I like it. I mean, we're bullish and we have a lot of recovery to do from very short amount of time of this huge drop. And we had that good PR. People are biting at the chomps to get back in now that we're getting away from this. And I think our volume is going to get back closer to these levels. Obviously, our volume is going to be a lot shorter or a lot smaller because we don't have as many shorts, though. So don't expect huge 180 mil volume days as much or ever, probably. But we could probably get some like 60 mil days happening on very good days. But yeah, guys, so there's your ranges between 8 cents and 9.5 cents. I'm hoping that we close at 9.5, but most likely it'll be somewhere around 8.8 cents to probably 9 cents even is my most likely guess. But I don't want to drag on too long, guys. I already did. But have a good one, and good luck to you all tomorrow. Hopefully it's another big green day.